chaotic and friendly. He says that you're in the show, everyone can see and hear you, but I can see Priscilla's waving and saying hello.
Hello. Yeah, you can hear me.
So is Andrew.
Hello, hello, hello.
I believe we're live. Let's confirm, Mauli, that we are live. And if we are, let me say yes, indeed. Okay, so welcome everybody to this Instagram Live where we're going to showcase 3 Ghanaian diaspora drinks brands that will be on display at this year's Tech in Ghana in the city of London this Thursday, the 11th of June. And as well as the Tech Talk, this is the link, people. Networking is the name of the game, and we'll be sipping these drinks on the rooftop, we hope, weather permitting, in our new location. I'm your host, Henry Bonsu. I'm a radio and TV broadcaster. I'm also, of course, a Ghanaian as well as a British, and I'll be hosting the main event on Thursday. But it now gives me great pleasure to introduce the founders of our brands. They are Eileen, co-founder and chief executive of Asoro. There you have it here. I bring gifts. It's a pioneering premium spirit brand inspired by the rich heritage, not just of Ghana, but of West Africa. We also have Andrew, or as I know him now, Drew Ekuban, founder of Ekuban's Cocktails, which is a premium premix cocktail brand infusing Ghanaian flavors into an expertly crafted drink. And then we have Priscilla Cronje. I've met Priscilla before, the chief executive of Coastline Spirits, UK distributor of Aphro, Ghana's first. Look at the size of this. It's as big as my head. Ghana's first premium palm spirit. It is triple distilled and it is organic, which means some people say it is healthy. Maybe not. Ooh, I hope it is. I think it is. Right. Okay. So each of you, welcome. I'm going to give you each of you a few minutes to give me a sense of your story, your brand, and why you built it. I'm going to start off with you, Priscilla. Okay. So I've met you a couple of times at previous Tech in Ghana, as I always enjoy sampling a little bit of Aphro. But I'm just wondering how you came about this business, given that, and I'm going to assume this about many Ghanaians of the current generation, the Gen Zs, the millennials, and the Gen Xs like me, the old dinosaurs. Our parents usually wanted us to go into one particular brand of industry or profession, but you have come up with this. Explain how it happened. I think you may be muted. You are muted.
Hello. Yes. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Apologies. Yeah. So I'm Priscilla, as Henry's introduced me. So it's a bit of a strange story, but I always knew I would do something for Ghana. So Ghana's always been in my heart, I think since I was born, to be honest. Anyone that meets me or anyone that knows me from my early primary years would tell you Priscilla's from Ghana. That's how I used to brand myself everywhere. So I went to Ghana just after COVID lockdown, and I actually experienced, tasting Aphro palm spirit. It was very early days. We just started with the drink, and I basically joined a partnership with the Aphro brand. I believed it had great potential, and it does. And I actually said the words, I will bring this to the UK. I didn't realise what it took and how big the journey could be, but I just knew that it was something that I wanted to do and champion. So, so obviously I didn't study apprenticeship at university. There wasn't such a degree yet. So it wasn't in the plan, but it happened, and I'm very grateful. I did study international business, so it does align. I have worked in the food industry before and hospitality, so it does align with things that have happened, along my journey. But it's more about championing Africa. So that's where my heart is. I believe this drink is a good flagship for Africa. And I do, I strongly believe that we've got places that we can reach with it. And I'm just happy to do that. Hence why Coastline Spirits was born.
Right. Now, can you explain what it was that attracted you to Aphro in particular? What is it about this drink?
It's everything, you know, the branding. I couldn't actually, you know, it's horrible to say that sometimes there's a stereotype around African products. So when I saw it, I said, this is made in Ghana. Like, this is Ghanaian. I had to question it, you know, several times. And I was, you know, surprised. And I was so proud, you know, it was one of these things that I just saw it and I was proud, and it tasted amazing. So smelling it now, you know, it smells just as good as it tastes. And I just really, really. What are you smelling in there, Henry?
Lots of lovely sweet notes of, I mean, I've drunk Apateshi in Mamobi, which, as you know, is a very densely populated area next to Nima in Ghana. Nothing as sweet and as attractive as this, I have to say. Okay. That one is more like firewater. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But what we have created in there is, you know, absolutely fantastic. It brings a number of flavors. I think it represents Africa very well.
I agree with you. It's sweet. It's very rich. It's not a bitter taste at all. It's the kind of thing you can drink neat.
Yeah.
I mean, neat. It's kind of like people who like rum will really like this. They really like this. Now, the question is it meant to be drunk alone or with a mixer, do you think, normally?
It's very good alone. I mean, it's very versatile, and I think it can be drunk, you know, either way. But our best serving is if you chill it. So if you put it in the freezer and you pour it, you know, fresh. It has a slightly different taste, but it's very, very smooth, and it's still refreshing as well. And it's 40%. So you know, we've had to call it liqueur, from Palm Spirit, but it is a strong spirit. So don't get fooled by the sweet taste that you think, you know, you can just be sipping it like juice. It is strong.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned liqueur because it has a richness of a liqueur without being as dense.
Yeah,
you know, which is fun because some people like liqueurs. I mean, for other people, the liqueur's a bit too thick and viscous and too sweet. So, you know, that's a perfect in between, as it were. Okay, Priscilla, thank you very much for now. Eileen, what about you? So, Asoro, premium spirit brand, pioneering. What is pioneering about it?
So, Asoro is made from yam. And so the whole fermentation process is an innovation itself. It's made from yam. We've also fermented it with what's locally known as yoyi, which is black velvet tamarind. And it was really born out of my past. I have been in tech and I have an engineering degree. So I went down a traditional path. But one of the slightly techie companies I work for, it's called The Infatuation, which is a restaurant recommendation platform. And I've had many careers, and one of them was a restaurant critic.
Yep.
And as I was critiquing all these lovely restaurants, especially ones from what I call the Global South, finding that the alcohol didn't really match what was going on. So with food, and especially with the rise of our lovely West African restaurants in London, especially some of our lovely neighbours, Nigerian neighbours, who are doing really, really well, and I do love their food.
So what you do with your eyes there, go on.
It'll be us soon. It'll be us soon.
Yes.
I basically had a very interesting insight because the company I was working for, also one of our clients was one of the biggest drinks companies in the world. And I had just met my co-founder, who's an amazing alcohol maker. And they were talking about making a West African rum or gin and everything. And I was seeing data, and the data wasn't looking that open for everything. I mean, there is room, but there's not room. There's many vodkas, there's many gins out there. So I posed a question: can we do something else? And my co-founder said yam, and I was like, okay, bet. So I got on a plane. Me and my mother went to Medina Market. We came home with 3 types of yam and 1 sweet potato. We fermented, distilled all of them. 2 of them were just fine, and then 2 were amazing. And the one of the amazing ones is in the bottle right now.
Wow. Okay. So, I mean, I don't drink white spirits very often.
Yes, but you'll drink this one. But we're saying it's kind of like the third spirit. So we want it to sit in between, like if you're reaching for a vodka or you're reaching for a gin, then reach for a Asoro.
Okay, that's interesting because I'm not a gin drinker very much, and I'm not really a vodka drinker. As I said, I'm not really a white. The only white drink I would have would be a white rum, a Bacardi type.
Yeah.
But this is doable because it's quite smooth.
Yeah, and it's also got a really nice fragrance to it. I find like got kind of a floral overnote, which comes from the sweetness of the yoyi, the tamarind. And so, yeah, it makes a really good mixer. And, you know, it is something completely new. So new, we don't even have a category name for it. So if anyone wants to give us a name for it, that's great. And it's actually rooted quite deeply in Ga culture. So I'm going to need Priscilla to back me up in this because another Ga girl on the call. But it incorporates all elements of like Ghanaian culture into it. But at its core, it is Ga, the yam. On the bigger bottle, you have two women representing the twins. So there's a lot of like our storytelling that's going into the whole of the product as well. And
it says here, vegan and all natural.
It is vegan and all natural.
It's yam and the subtle tropical fruit. And again, as I asked Priscilla with Aphro, would you normally take this neat like a connoisseur, or would you dilute with a mixer?
So people from outside our culture and country have called it a white spirit. So a lot of people, I find that everyone has their own preference of how they drink alcohol. I don't really drink alcohol straight, but this does work really straight. So a lot of people do like it straight on the rocks, but most people take it with a mixer. So and the mixer we kind of recommend is like ginger ale. For some reason, ginger like really unlocks the flavor of the drink, but it goes with everything. So Coke, Sprite, whatever you like. But if for anyone coming on Thursday, I recommend you just trying it straight. Just even if you're not that kind of person, just to like understand what's going on in the glass, and then topping it up with a little mixer.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to try Priscilla's Aphro with a mixer, and also Eileen, I'll try yours. I'll try Aphro Sapporo with a mixer and see how
we've got some juice, Henry. Aphro goes better with the juice.
I think it goes better with the juice. Oh, I've just finished the last of my ginger juice, so I'll try. Well, I'll just put a teeny bit on, and then while I'm doing this, let me bring in Drew, because Drew, you're the king of the mixology.
Oh wow!
Ekuban's cocktail. And so as I do this, are you horrified, or do you think no, it could work?
Yeah, I'm cringing a little bit, Henry. I'm like,
you're cringing. Why?
Yeah, I don't know about the Coke, but I mean, yeah, King is a very.
It works.
Yeah,
Priscilla, it works. It works.
Well, Aphro and Coke.
Absolutely, I would say so. I mean, I think if you like rum and Coke, you could easily handle Aphro and Coke. And then, with Asoro, let's see if these yams like Uncle Sam. Let's see if it works. Doesn't work quite as well, I would say. I mean, it's doable, if the night's kind of going well and you're kind of like, yeah, it's cool, I'll just roll with it. So, Andrew, tell us about Ekuban's cocktail.
Yeah, sure. So Ekuban's was birthed out of lockdown. It was a bit of a hobby when people were picking up making banana bread and sourdough bread and doing random runs. I decided to pick up a cocktail book, and it had 600 different recipes in it. And I just was like, let me just learn how to make cocktails. Yeah. And then literally shortly after that, a friend of mine had an exhibition, and she said, oh, look, I've seen you've been making these cocktails that I'd post on my stories. And she'd be like, did you want to bring them to this exhibition? I was like, absolutely not. I'm not a mixologist. Like, we worked in the same office. I'm an architect by trade. So I like to consider myself a bit of a creative. So I'll just put my hands to stuff and see what happens. And then she rocked up at this exhibition and, created a label and worked out the temporary licensing, and within an hour or two, like, they'd sold out. And I was, all right, so people actually like the stuff that I'm making. And it's just evolved from then, Henry. Honestly, I think from putting my name on it, that was the only thing that was, or let me say my family surname, that was the only thing that was tying it to my Ghanaian heritage. So actually in 2023, I decided to just move to Ghana. So I lived out there for a couple of years, and that's where I met Eileen, that's where I met Priscilla. And I sort of immersed myself in Ghanaian culture and tried to understand more about the flavors and spend time with family. And I think it's just been evolving from creating cocktails at home now to this brand that is quite deliberate about infusing Ghanaian ingredients and highlighting Ghanaian flavors, but then also trying to connect with some Ghanaian farmers as well. That's like the next step in continue to grow this thing. So it's like, how can I bring, you know, West African ingredients, Ghanaian ingredients, African ingredients, and give it more of a platform, you know? So it's just growing. So I just enjoy creating flavors and creating in general. And so the handshake that you have with you is part of that creation.
We'll get to that very shortly. Yes. Standing by, fresh from the fridge, you know, it's going to taste nice, I think. But can you explain to me, okay, because I mean, I do like a cocktail. But I tend to see it as something I would drink on special occasions. I don't have a cocktail with every meal, every time I go out. It's like a special night, I'll have cocktails, and I'll have only cocktails for the whole evening. How do you know what's going to work together? And what are the principles that you're working, that you're basing your new drinks, including the Accra handshake, on?
Yeah, that's a good question. I tend to always work, I mean, there's different bases, right? Always different base, but I tend to work with whatever base is available, a sort of a sweetening agent. So that's like a syrup or a liqueur. Then I go for like a citrus, so like a lime juice, a lemon juice, something a bit punchy. And then it's usually like a softer note, so a juice. So those are sort of was that 5? Yeah, the 5 sort of core principles that I apply to drink. And then having these 2 flavors, I'm obviously a big fan of Aphro, and you know, I use them in one of my flavors that I have currently. And obviously I've known Eileen for a bit of time, and we've had many conversations about getting Asoro into the mix. So these are 2 brands that I've worked with, I've tested, tried, like definitely back. So I was like, right, what can I make that can bring those 5 core principles together? But then something that tastes really good. So what you have is, or the Accra handshake is almost like a Ghanaian twist to a Mai Tai. So the liqueur, like the sweetening agent, is it's an almond syrup. So it's called Orgeat. It's spelled a bit weird. It's a French syrup, but yeah, it's quite nice. I made it, yeah, and I think I think it's quite nice. So
brilliant. Excellent. Now, before I bring Priscilla and Eileen back in, Andrew, tell me about the transition. Okay, so you're in lockdown. You've come from, which industry did you say you come from beforehand?
Architecture.
Well, you're from architecture, which is a very narrow, rarefied profession. Okay, I mean, it's one of those that Ghanaian parents, I want you to be architect, which is, we had that. You know, one of us had to be a doctor, lawyer, banker, architect. Okay, accountant as well. Exactly. So how do you move from that environment to this and to go all in?
Yeah, good question. So I'm still actually within architecture, so I'm still like juggling the 2. But I see them as like quite similar practices, where you take something from its base, sort of a bare foundation, and then you use your creativity to build on top of things, and then create something at the end that is, you know, sort of monumental or recognizable. So it's literally just applying the similar principles to like cooking. Like you take different bits, or architecture, you take different materials and environments and people, and then you come together, and then you create something that sort of works. So I don't think it's very dissimilar. But I guess the transition from architecture into cocktails was, I guess it's still transitioning, like it's still happening, you know? And
how much demand is there for the Ekuban cocktail brand?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely, definitely demandable. I think many people have had a porn star martini about 15 times, or a daiquiri, but they haven't had a Labadi cocktail, right? I think there's like a space for Ghanaian, West African ingredients to be highlighted within the beverages space. So this is like just putting our spin on like traditional drinks and mixes. Yeah,
brilliant. Priscilla, let me talk about your transition, because you said you've always been Ghanaian at your core from day one. Some of us took time to kind of connect with our Ghanaian essence, because we might have been born in Manchester or Newcastle or Liverpool or whatever. It took us a while, but you've always had it there. So can you explain your transition from the profession that you trained in to doing this? How smooth was it? And what was it like launching yourself onto the Ghanaian scene in this industry?
Yeah, I would say that it's been very welcoming, luckily, and I didn't really experience it because I didn't expect that to happen necessarily, because there are very few African brands in the market. I think we're underrepresented in a lot of these shows that we go to, and just alcohol in general. And some of the doors aren't as easy to get through. There's a very tight circle in the alcohol industry, which I've come to learn. But they've been very welcoming. I won't say which brand they are, but there is a big supermarket chain, which, as soon as I reached out to them, I met up with them, they've opened their arms, they want to help. They said, how can we help? They've set up a lot of, things for Black and ethnic minorities within their workplaces. They say we should have a place on their shelves. Whatever they can do, they will help. So it's been hard in that sense because we haven't even got a category, like Eileen said, even for Asoro. So we've come in brand new. People don't know what it is. We have to educate people. It's been a very, we've been around like about 6 years now. And it's only now that people are really understanding, what is the palm spirit? How can you tap something from a palm tree and make it into alcohol? And they're quite surprised by it. But one of the greatest things is when you walk around and you see people and they could be wearing my Aphro t-shirt. And they said, oh, so Aphro? And I never say how I'm involved in like that, just to hear what they got to say.
Yeah.
And that's, when that starts happening, that means you've reached somewhere. The first time I heard Afro beats on the radio, it's like that. It's like, wow, like we've reached, and it's a proud moment. So it's been a hard journey. I think from my, background in the corporate environment, etc., being able to speak at, on certain tables and being able to, communicate in the right way has allowed a number of opportunities. So it's been a hard transition, but they have been very welcoming. And I think we have got a lot of work to do, but as you can see, 3 of us are on here now that have, opened some of these doors.
Yeah. And once people realize who you are and your relationship with Aphro, the brand, I mean, what are some of the more bizarre or unusual questions you might have been asked about? Because I suspect some people will be like, oh, really? And they kind of like don't quite know how to deal with it. They're kind of like, this is strange. Okay, go on.
Yeah. They are quite surprised. And some people are like, it must be a rum. That's the straight where they go to, like, yeah, it's a rum. They're quite surprised when you say palm spirit. And they are, I had the question, you went to university to study egg petition, it's like, yeah, it's not just about that. There's more elements to, distributing and importing alcohol. There's a number of regulations. There are things that, have to be sorted out. You have to check logistically. There are things that you wouldn't just be able to just rock up and do. It does take some learning. We're still learning every single day through the industry. So yeah, it is surprising. People are asking all sorts of crazy things. And some people say, will you grow an Afro? Is it an aphrodisiac? It's like, it's Afro. Well, one of the questions, I can't answer. It's up to people to experiment. But I do believe there are some medicinal elements within our spirit that can help those kind of things.
Yeah. Brilliant. And Eileen, what about you? I mean, let me just go with that question. Some strange reactions. I mean, how do people respond when you tell them, well, Asoro, this, and I'm part of it, and I'm the person behind it? How do they respond? Is there any unusual, bizarre, or funny or weird responses?
I think most people, so when you're talking to, people who know what yam is, they're like, oh, I didn't know you could make it out of yam. And then and part of me making this product is so that we can think a little bit more outside the box of what is possible with the ingredients that we have at our disposal in Ghana. So for the most part, it's more like curious. Oh, I wouldn't have never thought of it. And I'm like, yes, now let's think about more things that we could be doing in that area or with any other ingredients. And then from outside the community or the continent or whatever, it's more like, what's yam?
Yeah.
What is yam? And then you kind of explained what it is. And then they're like, oh, so like a vodka. And then you're like, yeah, kind of, but not really, because it's not vodka, because vodka is potato and everything like that. So for the most part, intrigue, like, how did you think about it? How did you come up with this idea? And I've just, you know, I've been a management consultant for a long time, and sometimes you have to come up with very creative answers for your clients. And for me, I just saw that there was something to be done about, like, all of us just thinking about what we could be doing, bringing into the world that is from us. So like Asoro means from the source. So, you know, it's around to like just open up the creativity. But I've had just great engagement with it, and people just really, really interested. And then you go to the weddings and it might be there, and then the older generation will just keep drinking it to try it one more time.
Yes,
just to check.
I was going to say, Eileen, I was just wondering, you know, when I think about my late parents, they were very, very conservative. They didn't easily try new things, even if they were African. They knew what they liked. They came from Mampontin and Kumasi, and then came to the UK, and that is it. We don't deviate left, we don't deviate right, that is it. But I mean, one would hope that the Ghanaians, even the seniors, as well as the middle-aged like me, would be more open now. So what kind of responses have you had, including from friends and family, to your change, your move from traditional management consultant to working in industry, you know?
Yeah, I think to Priscilla's point, everyone's actually been very welcoming and very open. I think I do believe that everyone wants to kind of see us succeed, and even just on this call, just like being with Andrew and Priscilla, like collaboration is there. And like, I think I was told that, you know, Ghanaians don't like working with each other, like all these things. So the collaboration is like really, really there. And I haven't had a rejection from trying. The only people who haven't tried in Ghana are like the super religious people who don't drink. But then even then they will say like, give me a sample. I have someone who I want to give it to. So I've never had a rejection. I've never had a rejection of trying it. Like I've never encountered someone who's like, oh no. It's no, I can't, but I will pass it over. So yeah, I think I have been met with intrigue and kindness, really, and collaboration.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for that, Eileen. Now, Andrew, this is the Accra handshake.
That's the one.
Smells great. I'm going to put it in here. So this is a mixture of what and what?
Well, I can't give you the full recipe, can I?
Ooh.
I can't give you
the Colonel's recipe.
Yeah, but so it's got the Asoro, the Aphro Nubi, which is the one you have. It's got orgeat, which is almond syrup. It's got some lime juice, and then it's got like an extra secret ingredient, which I'm gonna hold to my. Look at that reaction.
I'll give it a 9. It's really nice. It's really
well done,
sweet,
Andrew.
not overpowering.
Yeah,
I could drink it on its own. I could even drink it with a starter if I wanted to. You know, in terms of here's something. In terms of the spirits scene in Accra, because you spent 2 years living there, having moved from here, Andrew. What did you find? Of course, you found the excellent Eileen and Priscilla, but more generally, how virgin is the territory, or indeed, how developed is the territory for this industry of spirits, particularly using African ingredients?
Yeah. I think it's definitely emerging. I think it's definitely up there. I think in terms of spirits, it's funny because I sort of spread myself out across different, let me say, like, demographics of people. So I hang out with a few locals, I hang out with some creatives, or like people that a bit more affluent. And I think it's just depending on where you go. Like, everybody loves a drink, but I guess it's like the sort of standard of drink just varies. So there was a load of people that would drink like just some clubs and some beers and a lot of bitters. But then there were people that would go to like the nicer restaurants and would like a fancy cocktail that would be maybe like a bit westernized. So I didn't see many people drinking margaritas at the local bars, but then like there was happening at the sort of Mediterranean or the Spanish sort of vibes. So I think it's like a whole range. But I don't know, I guess like Accra's drinking scene, cocktail scene is definitely booming. There's some amazing bars that are stocking some really cool products as well. So so a whole wide range. I know it's a bit of a mixed answer, but yes, there's
no, it's good. You gave me a very good answer, an honest answer. Just looking ahead to Thursday, and I'm going to be there, of course, moderating Tech in Ghana number 17, which is fantastic, and it's as you know, it's getting bigger and better. Akosua and her team doing a great job, and of course, we want to have a really great day there. And let's hope the weather is nice. We'll be upstairs on the roof, top of that city law firm, which is hosting us. But just thinking about the people who are going to Tech in Ghana, who are watching this now, Priscilla, what do you think they can expect? You're a veteran. You've been a few times. They're going to find you, and you're going to give them some nice quality Aphro. So why should they come to your stand?
I'm excited. I'm excited because this year I've got more support coming. You know, it's great to have Eileen and Andrew there because you know and Andrew, this handshake. I mean, none of us have tasted it apart from you, Henry. So it's amazing to see your reaction. But this is literally bringing everything together. So I'm excited for people to see that we can all work together. We can produce great things. And people to experience, you know, how great these spirits are and what you can do with them. So, you know, Andrew's going to be showcasing, you know, some spirit mixes that he's done, which just shows how great the two spirits are and how we, you know, literally bring it together. So they can expect, you know, some good vibes, lots of conversation. I believe that it's probably going to be one of the best yet. I think, you know, I'll be very good conversation starters with our drinks. So we'll have a great time.
What did the Romans say? In vino veritas, in wine there is truth. That's true. And the great thing is, we're going to be with people who are all into tech. But what you're doing is tech, isn't it?
Yeah, we're innovating. We're bringing, it's exciting.
Brilliant. And you, Eileen, what are you most looking forward to when it comes to showcasing Asoro on Thursday? And you know, all the people, all these tech brains who are into AI and into mobile payments and into Web3 and all of this stuff. Are they the right kind of people to taste this? I think they are.
I think they are. And, you know, as all of our businesses need tech, you know, maybe I can find some new partners for some of the tech elements that we need. Yeah. AI is going to be great for us in the future when it comes to like farming, sustainability, hopefully finding new ways of power and everything like that. So like tech and drinking, there is a link. There's a link there. We'll make a link.
Okay. I'll ask you, and I need to ask Priscilla this as well. How can people find you? What are the tags? What are the links? The website? Anything like that? How people?
If you go to coastlinespirits.com, you can order Aphro on our website. You can order from Amazon. You can order on Master of Malt. And you can buy it on the day as well. So, you know, come with your cards, come with your money. You can take bottles home. You can gift people. Our drinks make amazing gifts. So,
excellent. Thank you, Priscilla. Eileen, what about you?
We're on Asoro.Africa on all formats. So that's the website, the Instagram. And at the moment, we're in pre-sale phase. So it's you can just go to our website, sign up. And once we are ready, because we're still waiting for our FDA approval from Ghana.
Ministers, hint.
Sorry?
Hint, ministers, hint.
Hint. Slight hint. I feel like Andrew and Priscilla have been there when I've been crying, but it's all going to be great.
Oh, wow. I love the fact that you're together, you're supporting each other. Oh, it's not work together. It's not true. If the spirit is connected, we'll work together. And Andrew, what are you looking forward to? You're going to be doing, of course, the Accra handshake, which I've really enjoyed, and I will sip at my leisure, but you'll be doing more on the evening, during the day and in the evening, won't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'll be making one of my signatures, which is called the Labadi, which infuses yeah, exactly. So it's like a tropical beach flavor. So it's a Labadi cocktail. It has Aphro as the base, and they'll be serving up Asoro as like its perfect serve with some ginger ale, and then that Accra handshake. So hopefully more people get to have the reaction that you had. I'm quite excited.
I'm sure they will, especially by the evening, because they'll have been talking and discussing and debating Akoso and all these people. So by the evening they'll be ready. And how do people find you as well?
Yeah, sure. So Instagram is like my bread and butter. Well, I say bread and butter. It's just like the most common place you can find me. But then also the website as well. So it's Ekuban's Cocktails on Instagram, and then ekubanscocktails.co.uk, just on the website.
Great stuff. I'm delighted to say I've really enjoyed each three. I'm going to have to kind of contain myself so I don't destroy myself before Thursday. I want to remain compos mentis and clear. But let me thank you all. Andrew Ekuban, founder of Ekuban's Cocktails. Eileen, co-founder and chief executive of Asoro. And Priscilla Kronje, chief executive of Coastline Spirits, UK distributor of Aphro. Thank you very much. It's been great. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on Thursday. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining this Instagram Live. Go out there, connect with Africa, connect with Ghana, and drink yourself into a happy stupor. Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
How was it?